What's cooking? Today I'm going to demonstrate an equipmentless workout. So what I like to do is I like to come out on a hike, and every half mile or so I like to stop and do a set of squats, air squats. And over the years, these air squats have made my legs a lot stronger, a lot bigger, and give me a lot more endurance for my runs. So I like to start off with a warm-up set or two before I break out into my big set. So right now I'm going to do my big set, and I'm looking to break a record. So over the years, these air squats have made my legs a lot stronger, a lot bigger, and give me a lot more endurance for my runs. $248, $249. Last 20. Holy shit. 300. So check it out. No equipment. Oh God. Holy shit. All right, let's go. All right, so far, I've done one warm-up. Of 25. In a set of 300 straight. And as you can see, I'm not just stopping. Now, the reason why I do this to myself, and I don't necessarily recommend this exact thing to anyone, but the reason why I do it is because it really does greatly reduce my stress. It gets me out here to get sunlight on my eyes. It really deeply activates my muscles. And when I've recovered from this, the feeling that I have in my legs, the springy, like unstoppable feeling when I go on my next run or my next sprint workout, it's unreal. Okay, so next up on the equipmentless leg workout is after a set of squats. What I'm doing now is I'm gonna take on some hill sprints. So I don't know if this looks like much of an incline, but I can tell you it's pretty steep. So I'm gonna crank up this son of a bitch. And when I get to the top, I'm gonna do some static holds and some calves. Okay, so let's go for the sprint. Ready? My goal here is to sprint up to these white lines on the trees. Yeah. Holy crap. May not look like much, but it's hardcore. All right. So now I'll walk it out. Catch my breath. That's a lot of work. Oh. 300 squats. One warm up of 25. And one hill sprint. Okay. Let my body regulate. Get back to normal before I do it again. Now, All right. Next up, so next up on the equipmentless leg workout is a sequence that originally discovered from Bikram yoga, 26 and 2, whatever you want to call it. And I've, over the years, modified it and taken it out of the Bikram sequence and just added it in to leg day when I don't have any equipment around. So we're gonna start with our feet at about hip width distance, right below your hips. Take your hands out in front of you and then do a squat. You know, yeah, that squat. We're not going for a record here. Going for like, let's say 20 to 30 seconds, wherever you got in you. Stand back up, right where your feet are. Okay, arms still out in front of you. Stand up on your toes. Now this is gonna be a combination of balance as well as strength. So I want you to keep your heels off the ground and start to sink your butt down. It's like your back is sliding down a wall, so it's as flat as you can make it. And it's like you're sitting in a chair with your heels up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Staying on your toes. Bring it back down. And then lastly, just come up slightly on your toes. Bring it so that your knees are touching, and then bring yourself down slowly to a squat, low, and hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 4. Keep your balance, woo! And then slowly, I like to take my legs out before I stand up though. If you need help with your arms, go for it. Come back up to stand. Done. Let's go to the next. Back on this. Next up, another sprint until we find another good spot for some squats. And now generally, out here, whether it's a squat day or if it's just sprints, really what I'm doing is kind of doing interval training, but in nature. So if you think about these videos that you do, I mean, you're going all out war, and then you're chilling. If you're doing the rogue bike or an echo bike or air bike, whatever you want to call it, you go all out war, and then you chill. So I'm gonna go all out war on foot in the woods for about 10 seconds. I'm gonna walk it out for about 20 seconds. See, every opportunity that I have to go up a hill, and again, in the video may not show the severity of some of these inclines. Not that this one is severe, but it's significant. So you walk it out, and again, I'm not militant about times. I'm not militant about anything really, other than showing up and doing it. So if the day comes and I'm not feeling it, or if the day comes and I don't want to sprint, I'll just hike it out. Okay, so we'll sprint up this hill. All right. Walk it out. And I'm walking in such a way that I'm trying to get my zone 2, meaning that I should be able to walk and talk at the same time. Now I'm a little bit out of breath because of the sprints, but this is my walking pace for zone 2. It might even be at the point where I have to do a slow jog. So I love this part of the woods. It's very beautiful. The pine trees make this nice, like, soft coating on the ground. And so generally when I get to this spot, I like to do something. And if it's leg day, I'm doing squats. If it's push-up day, I'm doing push-ups. Today, I'm gonna do another set of squats. Now, I haven't done any since the old 300, but I'm gonna try to do that now. All right, this looks like a nice spot right here. All right, let's go. All right, so I'm at 300 on the day. My goal is anywhere over 500. So anything over 500, I'm fine with. If I hit 500, generally, I'll be pretty sore the next day. If I go somewhere between 500 and say 800, I'd say I'm very sore for the next several days. And if I hit above 800, it's pretty severe for several days. So depending on what I'm trying to accomplish that week, whether it's, total muscle breakdown, or if it's just maintenance, is how I'm gonna approach these sets. But for right now, I'm gonna try to get a set of 100 clean. Ready? It's 50. $100. It's 400 on the day so far. All right. Now, I also want to make a note that in addition to doing sprints, uphills, long sets of squats, some yoga moves that I've incorporated into a portable format that are really accessible to anyone that has legs that haven't been compromised. I'm also staying in motion. So I'll hike anywhere between 3 and probably the most I'll do back here is like 7.5 miles if I have the time. Most days I don't have the time for that. It takes a very long time. Getting around this thing once with squats, it's like 45 minutes. So I know that if I do this thing twice and I throw squats in, it's an 1.5 hour commitment plus the time to get home. So again, pretty intense, but I pit that against the stress relief and knowing that tonight, as a result of this, fresh air, exercise, early workout, my ass is going to go to sleep hard. And at my age, and at any age beyond 40, that sleep is like everything. Quality, long, deep sleep. And I sincerely believe that people have more energy than they believe they have. They just don't channel it properly, or in most cases, they don't know how to activate it. It's gone dim. And so doing shit like this seems crazy. But if you're back here doing shit like this, you know, you may reflect on something like ancestors in order to get food prior to being able to stumble into a restaurant everywhere and anywhere, all times of day, prior to DoorDash and Prime delivery, prior to GMO and massive scale factory farming of everything: meat, fish, eggs, vegetables. This is how people had to get their fucking food, man. This is what they had to do. They had to get out here, and I'll tell you in a minute, because I've already seen a couple of them. I'll tell you that I see out here deer. And I gotta say, lately, I've been deliberating hunting. The price of meat, the quality of the meat out there, it's pretty bad. You know, you're paying $60 for some steak at some local restaurant that's like, you know, as far as local restaurants go, pretty good. It's Joseph's Steakhouse or Citrus or whatever. But the fact is, every single local restaurant completely ignores the grass-fed, pasture-raised, humane standard, and will always default to getting that product as cheap as possible. So typically what that means is that the restaurants have to compromise. And in order to compromise, they just get factory beef because it's cheaper, much cheaper, and they can sell a steak and make a profit. If you go to Whole Foods and you go to the meat counter and look at the grass-fed filet mignon, it's 40 fucking bucks a pound, man. And you cook that down or try to have your family eat that shit, the good shit, it's crazy expensive. So I'm over here plotting out how I'm gonna get from A to B. B being venison on my grill, and A being I don't know shit about hunting. And I'll tell you something, I looked it up. It ain't pretty. Oh no, it ain't pretty at all. So I looked up how to render a deer, and after I've already gone through the terrible process of killing the motherfucker, you're telling me I gotta wait for its last breath, and then I gotta fucking cut its stomach open, cut right down the middle, and rip its fucking insides out and just chuck that in the woods, and then start lopping off fucking legs and shit. I mean, but people like to selectively ignore processes, and one of the processes that people selectively ignore is how the fuck a steak lands on your plate. And if it's not humanely raised, and it's not pasture raised, and it's not quote unquote grass fed, whatever the fuck that even means anymore, and it's a factory cow, and that motherfucker was sick as fuck and corralled. Hello. And lived a pretty shitty life. So when you're getting that steak, you're eating a pretty shitty life. I don't like that. So how you gonna win? I don't want to kill a goddamn deer. All right, I'm almost ready. Kind of back to level for another blast. So I've done 300, then I did 100, and I did a warm-up. And I like this back here because this is weird. It's like I'm in nature, but like now I'm back to reality. Technology, power. Nature cuts right through it. It cuts right through nature. And these days, those two things really don't escape each other. So I like to sit right in the fucking middle of it. I like to look at this road up here because it shows me the commute that I'm not part of. See it way back there? There's a deer right there. So what am I gonna do? Shoot it in the ass? Unlikely. All right, so this is a good spot. Let's go. All right. All right. So I'd like to be this. So I'd like this set to take me from 425 to 600. Let's see how that works out. Are you ready? It's fucking, oh. I'm gonna stop at 100. It's 100. All right. So, whatever. That's fucking tired. I'll bang out the next 75 right around the corner. Probably could have did it, but starting to get a little winded. I'll see this technology on the other side. I go through this loop back here. All this really does is add on. Hey, an extra half mile. It's pretty good. So, I'm up to 525, which is definitely considerable. I'll take it. So from this point forth, if all I did was like 4 sprints, the 1 yoga sequence, 525 freestanding air squats, and 2.5, 3 miles of a hike, well, I'd consider that to be a workout. Better than any workout you're gonna get at the gym, I might add. Not even close. Unless you're someone like Sam Sulek or some young guy who's got nothing better to do but camp out in the fucking gym all day. Which is like no one. See, the reason I even come to this place is because it's like, it's on my path. So one thing I always talk about is how much time is wasted getting to and from workouts. The time that it takes you to get to and from a workout is how long a workout should take. So why the fuck would you say I don't have time to go to the gym when you don't need to have time to go to the gym? Fuck the gym. Go outside. It's cold. Get gloves. If it's real cold, wear 2 pairs of gloves. Sometimes I come back here, or if I go on my runs, I have upwards of 5 shirts. Carhartt sweatshirt, 2 base layers, 2 t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirt. I'll put on 3 pairs of underwear. I got these, Jesus, it's wet back here. I got these legging things that I still don't understand how they work, because they're like paper thin and yet somehow hold heat in, let sweat out, and keep me and my legs from freezing. It's just super bizarre. But I don't like that on my upper body. I don't like that. I like cotton. I don't know why. It's just something that's in me. I like cotton on my upper body, yet I hate cotton in like my underwear. It gets sweaty and heavy. Ugh, gross. Don't like that. But when I'm done with these runs, with these walks, and all that extra stuff on, I can't wait to take that shit off. But today it's only 50 degrees. So it's pretty weird. The snow's melted. It's not cold. I barely even see my breath. And it's only 7:30. Well, it's actually like 8:30 now in the morning. But this is like a jewel of a day as far as a mid-January winter day goes. This is unbelievable. I like this spot here, even though I'm slipping and sliding all over this joint. What's the best spot to not get my little Brooks soaked any further? I guess it's impossible. Oh well. And my take on the wet feet and the wet clothes, look at this. Look how cool that is. That's badass, right? All right, so this looks like a cool spot for some squats, man. I like it. Let's see, is this high enough? Okay. Right here. It's badass. Angle it just a little bit. All right, that's dope. Let's go. All right, so I'm at 5:25. I'm doing this whole thing without music, which I really hate. So I watched this video with David Goggins talking to Andrew Huberman about doing shit that you hate to help develop your brain. And I fucking hate working out without music. So hopefully I hope this video inspires somebody to come out and get outside someplace. I don't expect anyone to come out here with me, but the gym mentality as you get older and you have kids, jobs, careers, houses, shit going wrong, contractors, fucking, the clogging up of your time in adult life. To snip out the gym, fucking great, quit it. But to snip out the physical movement and the exercise, not a good idea. To snip out the self-care, not a good idea. The good food and paying attention to your calories, all that, that's not where it's at. But snipping out useless waste of time, like commuting to and from a gym, to just lumber around and do some bullshit on some machine, fucking keep that nonsense. Ready? Let's try to bang out another 100. Let's also not try to fall in the fucking raging river. Oh, God. Fuck. God. Fuck. 600, baby. 625 to be exact. Oh, Jesus. All right. Now, I want to be clear that for some of these sets, maybe I could go a little longer, but because I came out of the gate like a madman and blew out a record, I don't want to go overboard, which sounds pretty stupid coming out of my mouth, because I feel like to the outside world, this probably looks like overboard. However, I've been building up to this for years. This isn't something I just started doing. Something I started doing a long time ago. Now, how the am I getting through this without hosing my shoes entirely? Jesus. Ugh. So, if you want to talk about things you hate in addition to, but not limited to, destroying yourself out here. Prickers on my legs is up there with things that I hate. And running around out here with wet feet really pisses me off. But what I've come to learn about wet feet is I'm not in war. I'll have dry feet when I leave. Who cares? That's how I look at that. What's gonna happen? I have wet feet. They're gonna be wet. Then they're gonna be dry. The fucking end. So I think people get hung up on weather conditions. And weather conditions impact and affect and derail exercise, because people, again, go back to that notion of seeking comfort. So, like, I'm already gonna be uncomfortable exercising. You're telling me I gotta be fucking cold too? Are you kidding? I have to have wet feet? Nah, I ain't doing it. But if you reframe that thought, the way I do it is I'm back here. People are sitting in traffic on 95, driving to some fucking job they hate, or sitting in a wheelchair wishing they could just walk around. So I've kind of created my own insurance plan for long-term health care by embarking on deploying multiple, at least what I believe to be longevity tactics. Can I get in and out of a chair by myself? Can I... Oh, here's another crazy ass bastard back here. One of the few. So I think this is a good spot for another. Another 100. Come on. Fuck. Getting up there now. Whew. All right, so what lies ahead here is pretty intense downhill. Let's see if I can circumvent this piece of shit. Yeah, sons of bitches. Here we go. No big deal. All right, let's do a little sprint. Oh, my legs feel like literal jelly. Go up this little hill. Now, to the outside world, looking at me do that sprint, that shit was weak. Shit's weak. But they don't know that I've done like many hundreds of squats. And so I'm a little roasted. But, so what's coming up around this corner here is a lengthy downhill. Whoa, hello. Just slid. And so there's a benefit to this that goes beyond, I think, what most people are seeing. And that is the ability to, in real time, circumvent, figure out, navigate obstacles, danger, and keep moving forward. So every single step that I'm taking when I'm going down this hill, I have to pay attention, close attention, all the while keeping myself moving forward, knowing that I have jelly legs. And I've fallen a couple times back here. I'll admit it. Nothing too severe. The worst thing that's ever really happened to me back here was getting chased by a fucking cane corso, which is the scariest animal that I've ever seen back here in the 10 plus years that I've been coming back here. Fucking disgusting, black with blood red, some kind of eye infection, or just a disgusting, massive, loud dog that I just don't even understand. But I got chased by that son of a bitch, and I didn't like it. And so I will just equate that to and use that experience as a lesson in fight or flight. Truth be told, I was ready to fight that motherfucker. I had a log, and I had to scream at it. It was off the leash. Owner was like oblivious to the fact that they have a killer dog. And we had a standoff, and it didn't attack me. And I'm really thankful for that, because I highly doubt I would have won. But I'd have fucking nailed him once. But the point of this is, so see these obstacles? See this? So if I'm fight or flight, and I gotta flight, I gotta run, use my ancient systems. These things are dormant in everybody, to get down and out of here and avoid danger without hurting myself. So let's do it. I'll do my best to keep it pointed at the obstacles ahead and call it out. Okay, so I take kind of small steps. I look for the rocks that are protruding. I look for roots. And this goes on for about a quarter mile. And this is a good exercise in agility, both mental and physical. Where to place those feet without hurting yourself. Choosing a path on the fly instantly. It's fun. I used to dread it, and now I like it. So I guess this is not developing my brain properly, because in some sick, twisted way, I enjoy this now. Then sprint. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay. I'm almost done. At least with this workout. And you know, right after this today, I have a client call. Well, let's just say I didn't do this. Let's just say I woke up last minute. And truth be told, today I woke up at 4:30 a.m., which I do pretty much most days, no matter what. But let's just say I woke up at the last minute to get my kid to school. Didn't work out, so I saved all that time and then went off into my day. Took that client call. I highly doubt that I'm going to be able to take that call, be as relaxed as I'm going to be, and feel as good as I'm going to feel having breathed in forest air, working out my ancient systems, getting my brain activated, getting my muscles activated. So you tell me, you think this is crazy, but you gotta admit it, I do make a little sense. I Getting your ass out here, that's a whole other story, right? Watching it from a distance is all fun and games, but bringing it out here, oof. All right, so here's another, again, it doesn't look like much on video, I don't think, but another hill situation coming. So now, actually, I've lost track of my squats. I'm either at 600 or 725, and I'll figure that out when I review this. And if I had to take a guess on the sprints, I'm gonna go with 7, maybe. So here comes another one. This one I'm gonna try to go all out. Yeah, that's badass. And I'll tell you, the more I do this, the more I realize how much energy people have that they don't use. And like a car or a toy or a cell phone with a full battery, and that battery doesn't get used, it diminishes and then shuts the fuck off. So this out here is me starting the car, plugging in the charger, and getting that battery back to hundo, so that I will proceed on. I watched this Andrew Tate clip. I gotta say, I had never listened to him before. Probably maybe a week and a half ago. And there's this one thing that he said. I find him to be quite cuckoo, but he does have some things that he says that are resonating with me, which often scares me when I align my beliefs with cuckoos. But maybe I'm just a cuckoo, and I attract and listen to other cuckoos, and we're just in our little cuckoo nest. But anyway, the point was, he said that physical fitness and this body, like, and how hard you work at it, that it's all rented. It is rented. And if you don't work at it every day, AKA pay your rent, that shit gets taken away. Now, he didn't say it exactly like that, but that's the truth, and that's the point. The point is, just because I came out here today and did hundreds of squats and air sprints and whatever the fuck, right? That doesn't mean I'm gonna be healthy 3 months from now if I just decide to do shit and bang out bugles and fucking processed cheese for the next 3 months. No, this rented thing I got going on goes away, just flies away quickly. Shit, I could lose progress after a week in Hilton Head like I did this summer, but I guess not really lose progress, but it just alters progress, because like a week vacation for me, well, that particular one was on a different level. That was like almost 2 weeks, but sometimes you gotta unplug the machine altogether and just do shit so different than you've done it, because it's like a weird reset. And if you get stuck in a loop and you keep doing the same thing, the same routines, and they intensify, I call it getting all tangled up. You get tangled up in yourself, and you don't realize that at any time, mostly, you could just break free from that tangled mess that you believe that you need to be in. And it's not until you step out of your tangled mess that you realize that. And sometimes life events create that, sickness, or someone being at the hospital. You know, you stop what you're doing, all of it, and everything else in the world ceases to exist. Well, that's how I try to carve out my time with that same mentality. But sometimes it's just impossible. You have deadlines, you're chasing checks, you know, you're trying to create new systems, you're trying to do new things, trying to find help, whatever. There's a million reasons why a lot of this shit can get pushed to the side. And when you step out of your tangled mess and look at everything, at least for me, it's like in the words of Larry David, pretty good. Pretty good. It's not bad. So, have some drinks. Wow, look at that. This is like a dry ass stream most of the time. Look at that. Wow. That's cool. Sometimes I come back here in the summer, like August, and there's literally not a drop of water. Well, I think I'm done for the day. I think I've gotten what I needed for this part of the day. I have a client call coming up in a few, and I'm at the end of the loop here, at the end of this hike. So I don't know. This is something I'm trying to experiment with. Show various aspects of reframing your thinking on exercise as you get older. How to look at the world like it's your gym. Like exercise in itself, it's pretty fucking stupid because your body wasn't designed to be forced into movement. Your body was designed to chase prey and live through times of scarcity. And the current state of overabundance and comfort would lead you to believe that, like that there's some terrible force creating this negative feeling for you. But the truth is that your system isn't being treated properly, and that you just need to get out and move. And in my opinion, being under the fluorescent lights with 15 TVs and boneheads and the traffic of the commute, the fucking locker room with the naked dong guy, the old naked dong guy. I don't miss him. There's always one who has like a wool scarf full of hair on each of his shoulder blades and full exposure dong walking around like he owns the joint. And I don't miss that guy. No offense to that guy, but ugh. So, and then seeing somebody you haven't seen in a long time, you gotta stop and chat or have it be awkward. You wanna do something, someone's in the way. The whole thing is nonsense. It's silly. You don't have time. Stop what you're doing and do a set of air squats. Now I'm gonna do one more of those Bikram moves. And again, I use the word Bikram like, you know, it's reminiscent of something that used to be a thing, but I don't like to really associate anything I'm doing with that guy, because I believe that he stole that whole thing, called it his, and then franchised it.
What's
was just a
Today I'm
creeper.
going to demonstrate an equipment
Crook. And he found something genius that the person who he stole it from didn't have the capacity to
What's cooking?
really
Today I'm going
market.
to demonstrate an equipmentless workout.
So
what I like
that
to do
sequence, still to this day, I do it religiously. Somewhere between once and 3 times a week, I cook myself. Part sauna, part stretch, part yoga, lots of
equippmentless
sweat.
workout. So what I like to do is I like
And
to come out
I'm never
on a hike,
unhappy
and
when
every
I'm
half
done doing
mile or
that.
so,
It always
I like to
leaves me in a
stop
better mental
and
state
do a set of
also.
squats, air squats.
So really, as
And
you can
over
see,
the
as I
years,
travel
these air
around
squats
life,
have made my legs a lot stronger, a lot bigger, and give me a lot more
what is
endurance
exercise
for
to
my
me anymore? Anyway, half an hour of weights in the afternoon, or a 90-minute hike with squats in the morning, or a 7-mile run at 5:30 in the morning, or some stinky, sweaty, hot-ass yoga class,
endurance for my runs.
or
So
all the
I
other
like
things.
to start off with a warm-up
in
set
between.
or two before I break
Is
out
that
into my big
exercise,
set.
or is that just-
So right now I'm going to do my big set, and I'm
Is that
looking
just
to
my
break a
life?
record.
Is that just
So
a way of life? And that movement is forced into it because sitting in a computer chair at a desk is not going to be helpful anymore for me after having done it for 25 years. It's just not serving me at all, and it serves no one. And who knew? All I wanted to do was get into a chair and sit in front of a computer. That was like, I aspired to do that. And now it's fucking considered bad. Great. It's true. It hurts. So hopefully get something out of this. Have a great day, y'all.
what's cooking? Today I'm going to demonstrate an equipmentless workout. So what I like to do is I like to come out on a hike, and every half mile or so, I like to stop and do a set of squats, air squats. And over the years, these air squats have made my legs a lot stronger, a lot bigger, and give me a lot more endurance for my runs. So I like to start off with a warm-up set
What's
or
cooking?
two
Today I'm gonna demonstrate
before I
an
break out
equipmentless
into my
workout.
big set.
So what I like to
right
do
now I'm
is
going
I
to do my
come
big
out-
set, and I'm looking to break a record. So